Oh, this calendar's outdated now, so I don't know what to do with it. Because it's weird. It's like it's not garbage, but it's paper, but it's not really recycling. So and like I don't want to put it like in the garbage can there because it's kind of bulky. You know, like when you dump your Christmas tree, like there's a local park, everyone dumps a tree, and the sanitation truck comes pick it up. Like, is it a place where you like dump your calendar? Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees. Well, happy 2024. I hope you enjoyed the holiday season. You remember, a couple of, months ago when the baseball season ended, you're like, oh my God, we got to wait all the way to 2024 to sort of get revenge on the rest of baseball. Well, here we are. It's 2024, and before you know it, a month or so and change, pitchers and catchers will be reporting to spring training. Unfortunately for the Yankees, Yamamoto will not be part of that group. So, obviously it's old news by now, but Yamamoto's signing with the Los Angeles Dodgers now. Really haven't had a chance to kind of give my reaction here, so we'll kind of cover that for the bulk of the beginning of this episode. Now, during the holiday season, you might have been doing a lot of shopping, you kind of checked out a little bit, worried about some other things. Yankees have made some small minor moves, so maybe didn't hear what's going on there, so I'll get you caught up with that. And then we'll speculate if will there be a reunion between the Yankees and Jordan Montgomery. Now, the Yankees still need a starting pitcher and have a few bucks to spend there. So we'll get into all that great stuff, but of course we're carrying the podcast version of the show into 2024 as well. We're entering its third season, and of course we got some stats back from last season, a 92% audience growth, nearly 2,000 downloads, so thank you very much out there. So if you haven't done it already, make sure you subscribe to the podcast version of the show. So wherever you get your favorite podcast, look for Section 420 Talkin Yankees, the podcast, subscribe there as well, and maybe we'll talk about another like 70 to 80% growth going into 2025, hopefully. And of course, if you're watching here on YouTube, if you haven't done it already, or if you're watching on TV right now, you can kind of get the YouTube episode a little quicker if you're watching TV. So go to YouTube, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, and subscribe there as well, and make this a wonderful 2024. So after all the hoopla and hype and the news and the talk of Yamamoto and the rumors and all that and the memes out there, he finally ends up with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit, which I like to do, if I be correct on something. In the previous episode here, if you saw it here, I did predict that, again, the Dodgers did make the most sense for him. So unfortunately, just kind of right after the episode, he signed. So and plus we had a bit of a low period during the holiday season. So again, didn't really get a chance to react to it to you. So now you're going to get my opportunity here. So I'll kind of do a backtrack on the whole thing, and again, kind of give my 2 cents on the whole deal here. So yes, ends up the Los Angeles Dodgers, and it just kind of seemed like it was the right fit for him anyway. Just want to factor everything. Of course, you look at he did want to play on a big stage. Well, again, Los Angeles, if the Yankees are 1, you would say Los Angeles playing for the Dodgers. Dodger Stadium is like 1A. So, they don't maybe have the illustrious background of the Yankees, but, they are nothing to scoff at. And if you want to look more in recent years, the Dodgers have been far more superior than the Yankees, just in terms of postseason appearances, teams they put together, did win the World Series in 2020, even though it was that COVID-shortened season, but have been much more relevant than the Yankees have been lately. They've been the bigger market team than the Yankees. They've been spending more on the Yankees, and the Dodgers have just come off a 100-plus win season. Okay, they got bounced out and surprised by the Arizona Diamondbacks, but you compare to a 100-win Dodger team to the Yankees that last season just won 82 games and kind of finished in 4th place, and plus the Yankee organization in general has not been successful in recent years. I mean, the last championship, of course, as we know, 2009, and really hasn't scratched the surface since. So, we just look at the two organizations. Dodgers much more relevant right now, and it's the fact that they signed Shohei Ohtani to the $700 million contract. So, as good as they were last season, they're going to even be better, and of course make the move for Tyler Glass now, which we'll get into a little bit later. But again, the Dodgers were kind of going all in for the season. If you're Yamamoto, you're excited about that the prospect versus playing for the Yankees. And of course, you look at the Dodgers. I mean, look in Los Angeles. Obviously a much closer flight to Japan. So whether it's himself, friends and family coming back and forth, it's a much easier flight than the extra 5 hours to come to New York. You have to factor that in. And also look at the weather. New York, even in April, May, and even a couple of weeks in June, it's kind of a little bit bitter cold there. I mean, if you're Yamamoto, do you want to pitch in that early kind of mucky weather in New York? And plus, you got to look at towards the postseason, September, October. Also gets a little bit bitter in New York. So Los Angeles, obviously the weather there sells itself. So you look at all those factors. But I think the slam dunk was obviously with Ohtani joining the Dodgers, I think that sealed the deal there. Now, Yamamoto did have some follow-up meetings. Of course, he had the dinner with Stevie Cohen, but he requested a second meeting from the Yankees. So when that happened, he thought maybe this could happen a little bit. But I just thought a lot of the news he heard that the Yankees were kind of his main target team there. I just felt that was more the New York media kind of hyping it up and trying to maybe shoehorn his entourage to get him to come to sign to the Yankees. I just felt the Dodgers just made more sense. And plus, earlier on you heard that he wanted to go to a team that had one or two more other Japanese players just so he have someone to be with. Well, hello, he's got Ohtani there, so how can you pass that up? So again, it just seemed like a slam dunk for the Dodgers there. So ends up signing for $325 million. It's a 12-year deal, so making about $27 million per year. Plus, on top of that, which no one really discusses, the Dodgers, because since they got him, they have to now pay the posting fee, which is $50 million to his the team in Japan he came from, the Buffaloes. So really this is like a $375 million deal for the Dodgers. Now, they were able to make this deal because they had a special contract structured with Ohtani, where they're paying Ohtani like $600+ million on the back end. They're only paying Ohtani $2 million per season next year. So again, they had this money to spend on Yamamoto. So that's another reason why too. I figure that again, the Dodgers with that ownership group, including Magic Johnson, have a little bit deeper pockets than the New York Yankees. So I just felt overall that really the Dodgers made the most sense and probably the team that he would be most attracted to. And of course, felt that deal would get done, and it finally did. Now, him with his follow-up meetings, it could have been maybe him see if he could drive the price up a little bit more. So let me scare the Dodgers a little bit. So if I meet with the Yankees, maybe they'll kick in an extra 20, 25 million, just, that. So, he might have been using the Yankees and might have been using the Mets as well there to kind of get the Dodgers to drive up the price. But that just seemed where he wanted to be the whole time there. And if you're the Yankees, now the Yankees ended up offering $300 million. So, not like they were being cheap like that, but, they didn't want to go past that. And they kind of looked at Ohtani and they had their kind of price they liked them at, the years they liked them at, and figured that's the deal they gave him. So I think it was a fair deal for the Yankees. I'm not going to call them cheapos or like that. I think they gave it a good shot. They tried their best. They brought in like Tanaka, Matsui to consult with them, and they threw the kitchen sink at this guy. There's really only so much you could do. So I don't blame the Yankees in this situation. And as for the Mets, it seems like Stevie Cohen also was going to match the Dodgers offer, but it seemed at that point Yamamoto didn't bother taking a second meeting with Cohen. He just went to the Dodgers. So that pretty much tells you he probably wanted the Dodgers the whole way. He might have kicked the tires on the Yankees a little bit. This is just for the craziness. Let's say the Yankees offered him like $350, which they weren't going to do, but let's just say they did that. That's probably what he was trying to do, is just see if he could get a little bit more out of the Yankees. But it turns out, I think Cashman and the Yankees just said $300 million, and that's it. And if you're Yamamoto, like I said, if you look at this Yankee organization right now, okay, it's attractive, just the fact that you have Judge, and of course now you have Soto in the lineup just for that one season. But after that, Soto's gone. He's bolting away. The Yankees probably not going to re-signing him after this year. Whereas you got the Dodgers and Ohtani. Well, Ohtani's locked up. He's going to be there for 10 years. So again, even more reason to want to be with the Dodgers there. So I don't think it's a case where the Yankees again dropped the ball here. I think they gave it a fair shot. And hey, look, this is a guy who has not thrown a pitch yet in the major league. So you're going to really break the bank and give him that much money. You kind of want people to be here that want to be here. So for example, let's look at some other past Japanese players that have come play for the Yankees. When it came time for Matsui, pretty much it was like Yankees or nothing when you heard with him, and eventually would sign with the Yankees. And even with Tanaka, there were a couple of teams involved with Tanaka, like the Red Sox, like the White Sox, but the whole way you kind of heard that he wanted to be a Yankee, and then eventually they got the deal done. So if Yamamoto really wanted to be a Yankee, he would have signed for the $300 million. I know 325 is more than 300, but I think the Yankees gave him the opportunity that if he wanted to be here, I think $300 million was a fair deal. It just turns out he probably just didn't want to be here, especially at that price. So you can't blame Hal Steinbrenner. I know people say, he's cheap. He's not like his father. The Yankees are penny pinching, all that stuff. I don't think it was a penny pinching situation. It was just a situation that he wanted to be there more than he wanted to be here with the Yankees. So if that happens, there's really nothing you can do. Just tip your cap and move on. And again, hopefully you face the Dodgers in the World Series and you beat his pants off. That would be your only revenge. And even look like Aaron Judge, a couple of seasons ago, off-season ago with him when he was up for a contract. He could have gotten more money from the Giants. He could have gotten more money from San Diego Padres. It was like both those organizations were going to offer him $400 million. But again, he wanted to be a Yankee. So, the Yankees were stuck at 360, and then Hal came in the last second. All right, we'll kick it up to 380. Okay, that's good enough to make it happen. And they made it happen. So I think the Yamamoto situation with the Yankees was a case of just, look, he just didn't want to be here, especially at that price. So I don't blame the Yankees for that one. I think they just handle it as best as they can. So he goes over there, pitches with the Dodgers and doesn't really burn the Yankees. Again, it's, he's at National League West, so of course the way they restructured the the schedule of the season, obviously they're going to face the Dodgers 3 games at some point during the season. But again, it's not like he's pitching for the Red Sox or he's pitching or a team in your division where you have to see the guy a bunch of times. You maybe see him once a year, if that. You might even go 2 seasons without having to face the guy. Who knows? It's the way if it's only 3 games. So whatever, let him go over there and we'll see how it works out with him. And you have to consider too, there's going to be an adjustment period for him. I'm obviously in Japan, players are on a 5-day rest versus a 4-day rest. If the baseball is a little bit different, and plus he has to get used to the nuances of the game. I'm sure he's going to be successful, but you got new leagues, you got new hitters, new players, new strike zones, new customs, new fields. I mean, he has to get used to all these nuances. I think he'll thrive in it, but you could expect some speed bumps just because this is all new to him. Now, when the Yankees, Tanaka started here in 2014, he pretty much hit the ground running. He got up to like a 10-1 start, and then, of course, unfortunately, had the UCL injury. It was kind of never the play that he lived up to, but look all the money spent on Tanaka there. And again, other than that, the first half of the first season there, he was phenomenal. After that, he was very good, but he was never what we thought Tanaka could be because he injured that UCL. Never needed surgery on it, but you just look what happened. So imagine if you invest like $350 million in Yamamoto, he comes here, and then has issues adjusting to the game, or has a UCL, or needs Tommy John sort of dead. So sometimes it's not the worst thing in the world to have to not spend money on the end. For the Yankees, well, you might have a smile on your face because now you can use the money you expected to spend on Yamamoto and spread around some other areas. So whether it's a closer, maybe looking at a third baseman, maybe some players for the bench there. I think a lot of money should go to, of course, a starting pitcher, which we'll get into. But now the Yankees, you have the idea that if you're not going to spend the money on that, you can now spread it around and in fact get 4 or 5 players, which actually might help you win a championship versus putting your eggs in one basket. So after striking out on Yamamoto, the Yankees still need a starting pitcher, and of course a couple of familiar names out there, one of them being Jordan Montgomery, the former Yankee, fresh off a World Series win, and of course Blake Snell, fresh off winning the National League Cy Young Award. And would be cool to have, of course, Cole winning the American League Cy Young Award. If you get Blake Snell, have 2 Cy Young Award winners there at the top of the rotation going into 2024. But I just don't think the Yankees are going to go in that direction. Of the 2, more likely you see Jordan Montgomery. Obviously, he'll cost far less than Blake Snell. I think with Blake Snell, I mean, look, he's probably the better quality pitcher than Jordan Montgomery, you say overall, but I don't think the Snell is someone the Yankees are looking to invest in long term. Again, they have this money to throw around because they didn't have to spend it on Yamamoto, but I don't think they see Snell as someone they really want to invest a long-term deal in. So unless he's willing to take like a 2 or 3 year deal, like maxed out type of thing, I think the Yankees will be okay. Not really the money. I just think they're more worried about the years. I don't think they want to commit years to Snell. But I just, for some reason, I just don't think that happening. I think more likely you will see Jordan Montgomery. Obviously, if he's probably someone he doesn't have Snell's resume, so he could maybe only command a 4-year deal himself. And if the price per year is reasonable, I think the Yankees will go in for that. Obviously, he's probably a different version of Jordan Montgomery than a couple of seasons ago when the Yankees did have him originally. Kind of went to St. Louis, went to Texas, kind of tweaked a few things, and again, probably much more better quality pitcher than back then. But he's still not like an all-star type of pitcher we have to break the bank for. So again, of all that. Maybe Snell will be the better pitcher, but you more likely will see Jordan Montgomery if the Yankees decide to have a reunion with him. And as for, Cole, who's there at the top of the rotation, you heard some news that the reason the Yankees really need to go too crazy into Yamamoto in terms of contract sizes, because then they didn't want him to have a bigger contract than Garrett Cole's. Now, I don't put too much stock in that. You want to win the championship. You're not worried about Cole's feelings, more or less. And even if he has Garrett Cole, he wants to win a championship. And if you could bring Yamamoto in here to help you do that, I don't think he's worried about, how does my contract look, or all this stuff like that. So I don't put too much stock in it. Again, you just heard that coming out of the Yankee camp afterwards, after they didn't sign Yamamoto. But again, I don't put too much stock in it. Another reason, because Cole signed in 2019, and just shortly before, the COVID and everything like that. And if you just look at the prices of everything compared to now, well, you got to, obviously everything's more expensive now with inflation and all that. So, Cole's deal back then versus someone like right now, it's not comparable. Someone right now is going to sign and get more money and get a big contract just because now you're 4 years later. So for all the reasons put together, I don't put too much stock in that room. I just think it was more that Yamamoto just wanted to pitch for the Dodgers. And if you're Cole, yes, you do have an opt-out after 24. Now, if you're the Yankees, if you pay Yamamoto a certain amount of money, well, Cole might want to opt out and want more than that, and you get into a bit of a tug of war a little bit. That's a possibility, but again, I don't think it's something the Yankees are focused on there. I don't think they're worried about Cole's feelings, more or less. I mean, they pay the guy a ton. I mean, he's the ace. But again, I think he wants to win, and I don't think he's, you wouldn't want to refuse bringing someone in to help you win a championship because you're worried about hurting someone's feelings. Now, in the bullpen, you're hearing some rumors that Yankees might be considering Josh Hader there as a closer. Now, this guy's going to command big money. You're hearing rumors and news around anywhere he's going to want anywhere like around 5 years for $104 million. I just don't think the Yankees want to invest in him. Now, his numbers last season were pretty good with San Diego. So, a 2-3 record, worked too much at a record there. Only gave up 8 earned runs, which is rather impressive. 33 saves and a microscopic ERA of 1.28. But you have to look at the fact he is 29 years old. Now you figure he's still going to have a good fastball for the next 4 or 5 seasons. So for a 5-year deal, it wouldn't be terrible. But I just don't see the Yankees investing something like him long term. Kind of be like a Chapman situation where, all right, you put 5 years in this guy and maybe he gives you 1 or 2 good years, and then he starts having the head problems on the mound. He starts having the mechanical problems. I kind of go through that there. So, and traditionally, the Yankees, Chapman's been like the only reliever they've gone more than 2 years on in recent history. It's this kind of Cashman sort of philosophy there. He does not do 3 or more years on a reliever there, because relievers every year they're up and down, they hit or miss there. So sure, it would be great if if Hader came here, but it would be great. But I just don't think the Yankees are going to invest 5 years in the guy. And it would have been cool, if the Yankees still had Harrison Bader. You could have had like a Bader-Hader, kind of combination. They would have been cool. But again, he's not here. But I just don't think the Yankees are looking for him for a closer. They're probably going to go into the season, and it's going to be a bit of a mishmash. You would say Clay Holmes has the inside edge there. But again, he's been a little up and down a little bit. He kind of was choppy in 2023. Kind of corrected himself, had a better end to the season, but he's not someone I really have much faith in. So the Yankees might look elsewhere, whether it's during the offseason or during the season once it happens. Maybe make a trade somewhere else to bring a closer in here. Again, I've lost a little bit of confidence in Clay Holmes there. I think he's okay, but I think the Yankees are just going to mix it up and kind of throw it out there the way they did. So, obviously Michael King's not around anymore, but maybe they give Lil Wise a good shot in certain days. So I just think it might be just per day, per matchup. They might not even have a de facto closer. It just might be the matchups. And one day this person could be closing, next day that person could be closing. But again, I don't think the Yankees are going to spend 5 years, $100 million on a closer. I don't see that happening. And Yankee fans can breathe a sigh of relief. Frankie Montas will not be back in the Yankee uniform. And I just thought it was crazy when you consider the guy. I mean, just for the fact that you brought him here, you traded him here. He was hurt, gave you like an inning in the playoffs, which was irrelevant. Then did a whole offseason hurt, which you didn't know he was hurt. Then needed surgery. Missed pretty much all of 2023 except some relief appearance. He came late in September there. I mean, absolutely useless. And now you're going to pay this guy some money. So I thought that made no sense for the Yankees. And, I don't know if that was true or not. They were actually going to consider him. Now, he's young. He's not like he's an old guy. And again, when he was healthy, he was a good quality pitcher. But, after all that abuse and you gave up prospects for the guy and everything else, you're going to give him now a boatload of money or a chunk of money? I didn't see that happen at all. So he ends up signing with the Cincinnati Reds. It's just a 1-year deal, which, again, I would not give the guy more than $1 million deal. So, kudos to the Reds there. But a lot of money for a guy like this. I mean, so it's $16 million for 1 year. Now, you want to look at his career. His career, just 2 games over 500, 37 and 35. Career ERA of 3.9 now, so almost a 4 ERA. And this is a mix of 99 starts and 31 relief appearances there. So, again, the only reason if the Yankees would consider him, it has to be like a 1-year deal at like $2 million. Like, that's the most I would gamble on this guy. Again, the Yankees still kind of need a 5th starter there, so put him in the mix and then maybe hope he bounces back a little bit. I don't think it was super crazy, but to give him anything like more than $5 million was nuts, Dan. For him to get $16 million from his agent, I mean, I don't know, you got to really tip his agent. Agent must have really done a really good job there with the Reds to sell him on there. But if you're a Yankee fan, you don't have to worry about Montas anymore. And again, the whole Montas thing was a disaster. Another player should really be tipping his agent is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, signing a 2-year deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, again, he was kind of the opposite of Montas. I think he was kind of a working class hero, blue collar, good Yankee. I think overall it was a good move by the Yankees to get him here, but obviously there was no room for him. But to give him any sort of significant sort of deal for the Yankees did not make any sense at all. And I didn't think he would be back, but he ends up with Toronto. Now the surprising part, a 2-year deal worth $15 million. So I look at him and I just don't see that deal. I mean, he made $6 million arbitration with the Yankees there. And again, he was Mr. Super Utility Man, but nothing that would you would like spend more than like $5 million on. But again, good deal. So, good job by his agent there. And he's not old. I mean, he's only 29 years old, but I just didn't think there was any room fit for him for the Yankees. You just made the trade not too long ago for Jeter Downs, and he's kind of going to be the new jack of all trades. I mean, he can play third base, he can play shortstop, he can play second base. That's kind of why the Yankees got him. So they kind of have a super utility guy now making peanuts. Why would you spend any money to bring IKF back? So I didn't think he would be back, and he's not going to be back. So he goes off to Toronto. Again, wishing him the best of luck. Again, it was a good move by Cashman to bring him in here. He had some good moments as a Yankee. but he's not someone you're going to look invest in long term. And of course, Volpe taking the shortstop job last season there, so I just didn't know where you put him. And of course, DJ right now, LeMahieu is going to be the de facto third baseman, so there's just no room for IKF on the roster. And again, you're not going to pay any money for him because you got Jeter Downs who can do the same thing. And in fact, even Jeter Downs, last offseason when he was with the Nationals, they had him shag and fly balls out in center field. So if you remember last offseason, they kind of got IKF to do that, shag some balls in the outfield there, and that's why he became Mr. Super Utility Man, even pitching in some blowout games there. So again, good job by him, but he wasn't really necessary, and so you didn't see he was going to be back for the Yankees, so he ended up with Toronto. But again, 2 years there deal, so yeah, good job by his agent. And Cashman continues to bring arms in here because he's traded so many ways to bring in some players like Verdugo and Juan Soto. But there's another trade, so the Yankees ship out Estevan Florial, again, longtime Yankee prospect who never really got his full opportunity in here, but will now possibly get a chance with the Cleveland Guardians. So he's shipped out there. Yankees getting back Cody Morris. So Cody Morris, may not too familiar with him, but 27 years old. In 2023, only had 6 relief appearances, and the ERA wasn't that great, 6.7 there. So, but again, it's just a small number of appearances. But if you want to take his 2022 and 2023 major league stats, where he's kind of up and down a little bit, 13 appearances. Now 6 of those were starts, so he might be someone the Yankees might be considering as in that 5th starter spot there, which is open. Now, record of 1-2, which you don't care about that too much, but decent ERA, 3.41, but more importantly, 32 strikeouts in 31 and 2/3 innings. So he's averaging about a strikeout per inning type of guy. Again, young guy, 27 years old. So, maybe someone you can mold a little bit. You kind of work with him with Matt Blake there and kind of tweak his stuff. And maybe someone the Yankees consider in that 5th starter spot. We'll see how that goes. But again, we've been seeing Cashman piling arms here, giving minor league deals, making trades, making moves. Because, again, trying to restockpile the arms, which he's sent so many out. And for Florial, again, never really got his fair shot with the Yankees. Now, with AAA last season in 109 games, hit 284 with an impressive 28 home runs and 4 triples. And that's kind of the whole season when the Yankees were kind of struggling with the offense. Everyone was screaming, bring up Florial, bring up Florial, bring up Florial. They really didn't until the very end of the season, and he was just in there for a handful of games for the Yankees. Just hit 209 with 11 RBIs, but again, it's a small handful of games there. But the Yankees never really gave him a fair full-time shot. Kind of had other players in front of him, especially when the Yankees a couple seasons ago traded for Harrison Bader. That kind of, and of course with Florial being a center fielder as well, that kind of blocked his opportunity there. So he never got the fair opportunity with the Yankee organization. Even had a little back and forth with where they put on waivers and he got cut, and the Yankees got him back there. So kind of a bumpy ride for him, but I guess he'll finally get a full shot with the Cleveland Guardians there. And for the Yankees, hopefully they could find something with Morris. Maybe turn him to whether it's a 5th starter or maybe just use his arm there in relief. Again, as we mentioned before, Yankees is going to be probably doing a lot of matchups and stuff in the bullpen there, and maybe again Morris might turn out to be like a 7th or 8th inning guy to replace Michael King. If any Yankee fans want to complain about, them not getting Yamamoto, it's like, well, look what some of the other teams in the division are doing, and mainly the Red Sox, who've been absolutely really silent the entire offseason. Now, they did finally trade and shipped out Chris Sale, kind of bit of a disappointment for them, and off injured, to the Atlanta Braves there. So just unloading, getting rid of his money. But again, no really major moves by the Red Sox, but they finally did show some sign of life there. So they signed Lucas Giolito. Now, he bounced around a lot last season between the White Sox, Angels, and Guardians. 29 years old, but if you look at his numbers combined, a 4.88 ERA, so almost 5, not too good there. But he kind of jump around a little bit, teams there, and getting used to new players, so you can understand that a little bit. Now, what impressive, 204 strikeouts in 184 innings, so again, averaging about a strikeout per inning there. But again, bounced around, but led the American League with 41 home runs given up there. So, that's kind of been the Red Sox big move so far. Again, it's a 2-year deal worth $38 million. So, making about like $19 million per year there. So that's a lot of money for that guy who's, again, okay numbers, not really wow numbers. I mean, I just don't know what the Red Sox are really doing there. Again, they finished below the Yankees, last place in the American League East. And again, they've been absolutely silent. You heard they might be interested in Yamamoto a little bit, but it didn't seem Yamamoto had any really interest in them at all. So they're kind of floating around a bit. So I was kind of wondering what they're doing there. Are they just holding back maybe for next offseason to really go big on somebody? So this kind of helps the Yankees if they're a little bit weaker. And you kind of want Chris Sale out of that division there. I know Chris Sale's been hurt. He hasn't pitched a lot, but something about him I just would rather not not face them. So if they're going to ship him out to the Braves there, good riddance, get it to them. And again, you kind of look at those games on the calendar against the Red Sox. Hopefully, has easy wins there. But I guess we shouldn't really feel bad for those Red Sox fans. They're kind of rivals. But you look at their football season; it's been completely terrible with the Patriots. It looks like Bill Belichick will be out on his way. Their baseball season last season was terrible, just as bad as the Yankees. And now they're going to be entering probably a terrible baseball season going to 2024. There. So for your Yankee fan, I guess you can be happy about that. This miserable up there in Boston. Now, we didn't discuss it much here on whether it's the YouTube show or on the audio podcast, but the Rays did make a move shipping out Tyler Glasnow to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, the reason you might think, how does that really affect the Yankees? It kind of helps the Yankees the same way, Boston shipping out Sale. You don't have to face the guy. And Tyler Glasnow, especially when I go back to that 2020 season, remember in the postseason, the Yankees couldn't even touch that guy. I think they might have beaten him up once there, but he's someone that pretty much would shut the Yankees down each time. So now there's a guy you don't have to face anymore. They ship him out to the Dodgers there. So again, that's good news for the Yankees. They kind of get some of those, AL East rival, coming those tough pitches there and shipping them out of the division so you don't have to face them. So it goes to the Dodgers, and again, the Dodgers has been spending money like crazy. Give an extension, so it's a 4-year extension for $111 million, so he's going to be making about $30 million per season. Now again, he's had the injury bug, and was injured to start last season, so a little bit risky there, but again, when he's on, he's pretty much unstoppable. And just kind of take a step back again, look what the Dodgers have done this offseason, even after winning 100 games last year. Make the investment in Ohtani, make the investment in Yamamoto, and also give an extension to Tyler Glasnow there. Now, of course, they've taken some money off their payroll. Yes, that's true, but overall, they're definitely giving the message out there that they're all in. And for next season, again, the Dodgers are going to be the team everyone's going to be focused on. But again, good news for the Yankees that you don't have to face Tyler Glasnow anymore. So, you take a little solace in that. So that's the episode. Hope you liked it. Hope we're kicking off 2024 in a good way for you. And of course, again, Yankees would like to have Yamamoto. Again, that was kind of, half of their goal there this offseason. But, they did get the big fish in Juan Soto there. So can't really complain. And again, the Yankees give a valiant effort to get Yamamoto in here. $300 million, nothing to scoff at. They had a couple of meetings with him. They bought him Matsui. They bought him Tanaka. Had his whole thing. Even gave him a number 18 jersey. I mean, they butted this guy up as much as he possibly can. Just turns out that, look, he probably didn't want to be here. And you can understand why the Dodgers are the more excitable team. And, of course, they gave him a $25 million. So it all makes sense there. So whatever. Nothing you can do right there. And if you're the Yankees, you're just looking for a backup plan. Again, got a couple of options, whether it's Blake Snell, whether it's Jordan Montgomery. Probably see Montgomery there. And if you're the Yankees, there's still some small decision to be made on, such as, bringing someone back like maybe Wandy Peralta, who I think the Yankees would be interested in. And he's someone, he's only 32 years old, so he's not like over the hill like that. And maybe you could get him on a 2-year deal. So that would make more sense than going like 5 years, on Josh Spade or something like that, which I don't see the Yankees doing. So a couple of tweak moves to be made. Again, ideally, I would like the Yankees to get a real bona fide closer, yes, but I just don't know who's out there right now. So I think they probably go into the season just kind of with, Clay Holmes getting the nod there as closer. Hopefully, you have a full season of putting it all together, not being up and down and like, throwing balls past the first baseman there. So hopefully get it right. But again, if he falters off a little bit, he's, a closer or something like that, you would get that during the offseason and make a trade there. So, it's not crucial for the Yankees. So, we're getting closer, about a month and a half away. And of course, pitchers and catchers will be reporting to the Yankee camp. And again, hopefully by then the Yankees have made another move or two to kind of solidify the team. But this is probably the roster as you see it. And again, more likely you'll see probably Jordan Montgomery get signed, and he'll be there in the rotation. And you're just hoping that players like Carlos Rendon and Nestor Cortez can bounce back and have a full, complete, healthy season. And again, if you do have Montgomery there, looking at 3 lefties in your rotation there, which is quite impressive. I mean, something the Yankees haven't had in quite a while there. And you have to go back to like the David Wells and Andy Pettitte days and like Ted Lilly and all stuff like the 2003. So it would be neat for the Yankees. But if they even end up getting Blake Snell even better, why that'd be even the better lefty. But again, you probably see in Jordan Montgomery. So that's the episode. Hope you like it. And remember the podcast, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, wherever you go to get your podcast, subscribe and be notified when new episodes go up as well here on YouTube. Catch you next time.